There is excess in medical.
There is an excess in medical.
Hi guys, welcome to Bima TV, and today we are joined by industry experts just to discuss about a few topics. And we are going to start with Amon. Amon is a medical expert and is going to talk about excess in medical and is going to talk about maternity from an international perspective. There is excess in medical.
There is an excess in medical. I wonder why people think it only applies to one.
Oh, so how does excess apply in medical?
The applicability is actually the same. It's good that you have it. Really is important for people to understand all the way from definition and the way how it helps both the insurer and the insured. So excess pretty much is you choosing to take part of the risk yourself. So let's say, for instance, if I'm purchasing a medical cover, let's say the limit is 10 million Kenya shillings, and then in there's an excess of 100,000 Kenya shillings. So that means in the event I need to be admitted, I'll have to pay myself that 100,000 Kenya shillings, and then the insurer will pay the remaining bill. So it's like you're not transferring the full risk to the insurer. You're choosing to cede some of it. What's the catch there? So I've ceded some of the risk, but in return, my premium will be discounted. So ideally, it's one of the ways of reducing premium. So me as a business development person, when I'm discussing with someone that maybe I've given you a quotation and you feel like it's high. So one of the first questions that people do ask me is, what else can I do? I like this cover, but I can't afford it. What else can I tweak? So I now start pulling that card of, we can explore excess options. There are quite many. Like if you had an excess of 100,000 Kenya shillings, premium will come down to this. But me, majorly, I must ensure you understand. Because what that means is if you are admitted now, and the bill, let's say the bill comes to 500,000 Kenya shillings, then you have to pay yourself that 100,000 Kenya shillings. So, and this is where I normally see, insurance getting the bad reputation, because you can find a salesperson not explaining exactly how that works. So when someone is admitted and they're being told by the customer service agent that you need to pay this amount, then the point of contention starts there. So it's really good for people to understand how it works.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think that's very important for people to know.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask, when you're talking about paying you're already admitted, right?
Mm.
Do you pay before or do you pay after on admission or after when you're being
so ideally people usually pay for the bill they've incurred after receiving service. So if you are admitted, you would pay at the point of discharge. If it was simply you going to see a GP or a specialist, the same thing, you'd pay after. So you can choose to pay before, but what are you paying for? One would want to see. Yeah, that's correct. So one would want to see the final bill first. So that's excess. There is co-payment, which is a sister to excess, but the applicability is different. So with co-payment, it's each and every time you go to the hospital, you pay that amount. With excess, you pay once. Once you've maxed out that amount, you're done. Let me pick an example.
Is it a percentage or a fixed amount?
So with co-payment, it could be a fixed amount. It could be a percentage, but most of the time people use percentage. Let me start with co-payment. So let's say maybe you have a medical cover, limit of 10 million Kenya shillings. Outpatient maybe limit is 200,000 Kenya shillings, and then in there you've been told dental as a co-payment of 20%. So meaning each and every time I visit a dentist, then I'll have to pay myself 20% of the bill. The insurer will pay 80%. That is co-insurance. So it applies each and every time you visit the hospital. But with excess or deductible, by the way, you can use the two words interchangeably. You can use excess or deductible the same. There's been a lot of debate around it, but at the end of the day, they mean the same. So with excess, let's say you have the same cover. inpatient limit is 10 million, outpatient limit is 200,000, for instance, and there's an excess of, let's say, 50,000. So if I'm admitted today, and at the end of, let's say, 2 or 3 day hospital stay, the bill comes to 250,000. So the excess was 50,000, you remember? So I'll pay 50,000, and then the insurer will pay what? 200. If I'm admitted, let's say 2 weeks later, and the bill is 500,000, I won't be asked again. That's for excess. So it's once per year, not for every hospital visit. And I find that a very, very important point. You need to like stress when you're selling it. Because I find, co-payment can be very stressful. You can imagine each and every time you go to the hospital, you have to pay that amount. So you just need to iron that out when you're selling.
Does it apply to all medical covers by all insurance companies?
Not all of them, honestly. So even what we sell, like myself, I do a lot of international private medical insurance. So they give you a range of options. Like if you want a cover that doesn't have excess or co-payment, that's in the table. But if you want the one that includes all those, it's also in the table. I think the question could be, why would insurers impose like co-insurance, for instance? One of the main reasons is to avoid misuse of cover. And they majorly impose on dental and optical. So I call them benefits. Like if I and this is I don't know whether it's a Kenyan thing or it's an African thing. If you sell people like dental or optical benefits, 99% of the time they will use it. Honestly, hands down. That's where, by the way, medical insurance got a lot of calls, a lot of claims from
dental and optical.
Dental and optical. So insurers then to put like a co-insurance, let's say maybe 25%, to avoid misuse of that policy. So if you don't really need it, you won't go because you'll be like, I'll have to pay. But if kama unaumwa na meno, utaenda. Yeah. So
does it also mean that it's an opportunity for doctors to see, hapa kuna do?
That's another. Honestly, there's a moral hazard from many parties involved. So I mean, even the kind of customers that I have, when they go and present like paper cover, there's a tendency that hospital might even like prescribe unnecessary tests. So they're like, someone maybe have gone there they've already known what you're suffering from, but they now start ordering unnecessary tests. And it brings a ripple, some kind of effect. Like at the end of the year, premium will be huge because the claim cost was high, and this would have been avoided. So there's an element of moral hazard in the industry.
So umesema in short, kila Mkenya ni mwizi amekosa tu opportunity.
There are those legitimate ones.
Too bad. You heard him. That's what happens. That's why you need copay. That's why you need medical insurance. Just be aware. Simple.